Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are here with week one of the UPC, a league I joined like a month ago or two. That goes into its seventh season, I think. It's run by my boy Tyler, aka Phantom Base, and it's gonna be a fun season. I uploaded my draft recap like a week ago or two, or maybe three, I don't know. And yeah, we got a pretty busted squad around, built around Mew and Mega Diancie, which is pretty hype. Got some of my favorites on there, and some ones I have never used, like Katana and Dynasty, obviously. So should be really fun. And in week one, we are facing my boy NovaHawk, fellow ITL member. Cool guy, cool dude. Like we know each other like for a while. He's a friend, good guy, and like he has constantly improved as a player, but we usually um, beat him most of the time when we play, unless he like hexes me. But yeah, it's like definitely gonna be a fun one. He has like a super threatening team, as you already see, as the Z-Lando T. He had the first pick in the draft and decided to grab Lando. He has Abe, he has Ladias, he has Cobalion, Roserade, which I don't have really good switch-ins for, as well as Vaporeon. So was a tough build, but because like some of his threats, like Ladi, like Cobalion, like Infernape, aren't his Z user, it's like not that not that big of a deal to deal with them, but still like I still had to like come up with some hot stuff um to like um build a good team that I think will win this match. So the team I brought is like Mew, as you see. It's a Taunt, Toxic, Softboiled, and Psychic Mew. It pretty much 1v1 his entire team if he decides to bring Fat. I really wanted to bring Ice Beam to bob the Lando if possible, but I couldn't afford it because then I wouldn't be able to beat Cobalion, which could have been an issue if it was SD. And like I could have run Willow over Psychic over Toxic, but then I would have struggled against the Vaporeon as well as the Latias. So I felt like Psychic Toxic was the best set because it can chip down Lando even on the switch, and it can revenge Lando because I'm faster than Lando. It bobs um, Infernape, it bobs Roserade, which is like pretty important for my team to get rid of those because I don't have unlimited switch-ins to those two. So it was kind of important for me to to be able to bob those two. But Mew, like looking at his team, like once I get rid of the Lando, Mew looks absolutely fantastic because he can pretty much 1v1 the rest of his team, so it's kind of clean. Next up, I got a modest Rock Polish Mega Diancie with enough speed for Lando. I felt like I didn't need to speed her with Ladias because like I got a bunch of checks for Ladi in the form of Mew, as well as Metagross, as well as Toxic on Hippowdon, as well as like um, a pretty offensive Talonflame, so I figured if I don't outspeed Ladias, that's kind of fine, I don't really care. Mega Diancie obviously has Moonblast, Earth Power, and I think Diamond Storm. Yeah, Diamond Storm because that bobs Roserade unless it's physically defensive. And looking at my opponent's team, once I chip down the Vaporeon, this thing just wins on its own. Like yes, it will obviously be Sugarberry Cobalion, but if I chip it down to like 40%, I can OHKO it through the Sugarberry, I think. But I can break the Sugarberry earlier with a Hippowdon Earthquake, for example, or like just bop it with like a Secret Sword from Katana, or with like Zen from Metagross, or a couple Zens from Metagross, because Cobalion isn't a threat offensively to my squad, so it's kind of clean. But Lando dies to Moonblast if it's like max HP, dies at like 55% even, so it's kind of clean. This Infernape drops to Earth Power, Roserade drops to Diamond Storm, Ladias bobs to Moonblast, and Vaporeon is 2 KO'd after rocks with Sand up, so that's kind of clean. But I still wanted to like be able to lure the Vaporeon if possible, um, so that I can beat a specially defensive variant with my Diancie. And this is where talent comes in. It's a very sophisticated talent set, I would say. um, I don't know if I like will be able to pull it off in this match, but this is a Yapapa Berry Sword Stance Talonflame with Roost, Brave Bird, and Flare Blitz. Um, this Talon Yapapa Berry is like kind of interesting item indeed, because it could have been like just like leftovers or something. But the plan with this Talonflame is um, it is gonna force out Infernape or Roserade at some point, and his best switch in, unless he brings defensive Lando, which isn't really a set versus me, his best switch in is the Vaporeon. I can SD on the switch out into Vape, SD again to get to +4 as he Scalds. Scalds will bob my Yapapa Berry. 100% of the time it does like 75 to 88% or something like that. It will bob the Yapapa Berry 100% of the time. I get my health back. Can OHKO the Vaporeon after rocks, and like potentially with Sandstorm up, like I have a very solid chance to OHKO the Vaporeon after rocks with Brave Bird even after the round of lefties he takes, and then like I will still be able to lift the recall because like because of the Yapapa Berry I take like 48 max from recall if I knock it out, so I will still be able to be at +4 and claim another Mon because my Talonflame is here to outspeed everything on his team unless he brings a Scarf, and besides Infernape he doesn't really have an obvious Scarf, and Scarf Infernape is kind of checked by Talon as well, so I can learn Vaporeon with this Talon as well as like revenge Infernape, checked Infernape by like just going hard into it and roost up. Can bob Cobalion unless he runs Stone Edge, which I don't think he would. It obviously revenges Roserade with ease, like just bobs it from full with the Brave Bird. And like, yeah, if this talent lures the Vaporeon, my Diancie is pretty much guaranteed to win because it um, can just Rock Polish up on the Ladi and then win from there. Vaporeon here is a physically defensive variant, mostly with Earthquake, Rocks, Toxic, and Softball, not Softball, Slacker. Pretty simple set. It's here to get up Rocks reliably and kinda check Ape plus Cobalion plus Landorus, but obviously Z Landorus breaks apart on, so I have to like get a Toxic off on this thing because otherwise the dual dance Landorus team might sweep me. Next up we got a Scarf card, Adamant, because I really didn't expect Nova to run Scarf and Infernape. It like outspeeds obviously Landorus, it outspeeds Scarf Roserade, which is nice, and like can pretty easily, looking at his team, can pretty easily sweep once I get rid of one of his resists. Like if I weaken Roserade, I can like as well as Cobalion, I can like Leaf Blade sweep. If I get rid of Latias, I can pretty much easily Sacred Sword sweep. If I get rid of Vaporeon Ape, I can Smart Strike sweep, so there's that. I also got Defog on there in case he wants to stack me with Roserade. And last but not least, I got a Metagross, Ice Punch, Zen Headbutt, Toxic, Protect. It's another lure for Vaporeon, hopefully. It can 1v1 it most of the time unless he gets a Scalper on me. Because Zen into like toxic damage into Zen Headbutts with Protect support is pretty nice. You can like whittle it down pretty easily, and also 1v1 shit like Latias with it, as well as some defensive Cobalion, which is definitely a possibility versus my Katana. So pretty hot set here. Very bulky, and like it's still 2 chaos like offensive Latias with Ice Punch. It can OHKO offensive Landorus after rocks with Ice Punch as well. So that's kind of clean. And also it's like a very solid Roserade check unless he's like Life or Pin Power Fire. I beat this 1v1 as well because I can switch it on a hit and then Zen Headbutt this shit into Oblivion. So now I think we should hop into the match. I decided to lead off with my Talonflame because it can kind of force out Landorus potentially because he has to fear the Willow. It can force out the Infernape. It can force out Cobalion potentially. Forces out Roserade, and I could just SD turn 1 if he leads Roserade, which is nice. And if he leads Scarf Infernape and thinks he can U-turn out on me, I can just bop him with the Gale Wings Brave Bird. I'm running Gale Wings this time just in case I need to bop something turn 1. So I lead off with Talons, he leads with Lando, and I'm like, yeah, this Lando, it might be Scarfed. He has to feed a Willow, but if he's Scarfed, he can just click Edge or Rock Slide and bop me, and I didn't want to risk it. So I decided I go hard into my Metagross here to like scout for damage, and he needs to be max attack with the Edge. So I'm like, yeah, this could be Scarf. But I think I will double out here into my Hippo, yeah, to scout for the Earthquake. as he goes into Cobalion. So I think like, yeah, this could be scuffed, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe didn't want to risk me being able to live the Earthquake and pop him with the Ice Punch, which is a fair play, because I live an Earthquake 100% of the time after this pitiful Stone Edge damage. So here, instead of going for the Earthquake, I want to get up my rocks, because if he stays in and gets up his own rocks, he's Sugar Berry anyway. There's no reason for me to like bob the Sugar earlier. I much rather stealth rock up and then try to catch something with a Toxic on the next turn. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. As he rocks up, I'm showing the most obvious Sugar of my life, but that's fine. Like, I have defog if I need to defog shit away, and yeah, I can go from there. But he goes into Landers, I get off the Toxic. This is like kind of clean. I'm like, yeah, cool. Now if he's dual dance, I am not forced to sack off 6 monsters. So that's solid. I will go for the Slack off here in case he Z moves, but he has these up, which is probably his best play. Like, I didn't really have a counterplay to it, because had I gone hard into Katana, yes, I would have outsped, but I probably wouldn't have killed her with the Leaf Blade. And had he clicked the Z Fly here on this turn, I would have lost my Katana, which is unfortunate. So not really like another play that I could have made. I could have gone hard into Diancie, that would have been a fire play, but if he went for the Z Earthquake, that would just dropped, and like, obviously I still can't kill it from this range because I took off HPIs in favor of Rock Polish before we played. So yeah, here I'm kind of forced to sack him on. I could go into Metagross to like take the Z-Fly at +2 and then like click Protect and get lefties back. But Z-Fly would do like 75 and I'm at like 87 after rocks, and I definitely want to keep my Metagross healthy to check Roserade and Ladias. Katana I can't really sack. It's a sick win con. Same with Mew, same with Diancie. So I'm forced to choose between Hippowdon and Talonflame. I'm like Talonflame like checks Ape and checks Roserade. The rest of the squad not so much. Hippowdon checks Cobalion and checks Ape, but also can chew a Draco from Ladias if need be and get a Toxic off. And the monster talent checks, mainly like Roserade and Infernape, are pretty much checked by Mew and like in Roserade's case Metagross. So I'm like, Talonflame is probably my most my least useful mon here, and I'm going hard into it. And if he goes for the Z Earthquake, I look like a Dawn. So he goes for the Z move as I go Talon. Obviously has the Supersonic Sky Strike. It's definitely his best set versus me, and he gets the kill with Talon. But now I can go into my Diancie and revenge it. I could have gone into Katana to revenge it, but that would have given him a free excuse me, a free Cobalion, and I didn't really want that to happen and keep Lando around. And now he's like kind of forced to stay in with Lando, because if I get a Command up, he would be in a very bad spot if he switches out into Vaporeon, because Vaporeon can't bop me with the Scout at +1 and I 2 KO easily with at +1. So he has to stay in here as I Mega Evolve and get rid of this Landorus, which is nice. Now he goes into Cobalion. I'm forced to switch back out into my Hippowdon here. No reason not to. Like, didn't really have to make a play here. As he doubles into Roserade, revealing that his Cobalion is slower than my Diancie, which is very good to know. Like, that means I may not even have to Rock Polish up, unless I don't have to Rock Polish up if I bob this Infernape at some point. But now Roserade is in, and I'm like, yeah, do I want to make the hot play and go into Diancie on the T spikes or spikes? But I'm like, nah, if a Giga Drains or Leaf Storms, I lose a win con. Don't want to do it, so I go into my Metagross here, which is nice. Like, he wants to be Black Sludge, so I know he's not a threat to my meta, even if he has the HP Fire. And now I can just I think I Zen Headbutt here. No, I think I Toxic predicting him to go into Vaporeon. Yeah, I make the play and I miss the Toxic, which is unfortunate. But I think I just clicked Toxic again here. I want this Toxic off on this Vaporeon so my Diancie can win. And like, I don't really have a good switch into Vaporeon if he has like Toxic. I don't want to go hard into Mew if he makes like a prediction. So he goes for the Protect. I don't know why. And then he goes into Cobalion, which I already showed that it's a slow Cobalion. I know that like, if he's slow, he's probably very bulky and can't really touch me. He goes for the HP Fire, there's 24, so I'm guaranteed to 1v1 this thing because I can just protect on the turn if I need to. Now I think I clicked that headbutt again. Yeah. Ladi comes in, not really a big deal. I think I just protect here. No, I just attack and just go for the ice punch. Trying to get chip off. I do 47, which means he's definitely max HP and probably has some defense investment. His hidden power does a little bit too much, but I'm not worried yet. So I will fire off the. No, I go for protect here, scouting to see like if he wants to attack me again or if he has roost. He has the roost, so yeah, I'm kind of fucked. I go for the toxic now, so he goes for the HP fire again, and now now it's gonna get interesting here. This lad is toxic now. I think I go for one more protect here. No, I don't. Okay, let's get back to the last one. So he goes for the hidden powers. I toxic him, and I'm like, I'm like okay, I am at a solid amount of HP. Like if he hidden power fires me, he can't knock me out even with a crit. If he like maybe with crit he can knock me out if he gets a roll. But if I go for the ice punch, he pretty much is guaranteed to lose his Ladi at some point and can't boost up on me. And Ladias is still important to like check Hippo potentially, because Hippo like otherwise like Waltz, Ape, and Cobalion is really tough for him to break down because I have very solid switches into the Vaporeon and Roserade in the form of the Mew. So I figure like yeah, he probably wants to preserve his Ladias. My most obvious play is Protect because that guaranteed puts me out of range of the hidden power fire crit on the next turn potentially. So I'm like, yeah, what is his play here? Like he's really in the back because he lost his biggest breaker already without having broken my best defensive mons and Hippowdon and Mew. So he's like kind of forced to make a play, and I'm like, yeah, Ice Punch or Protect is so obvious. Maybe this guy goes into Infernape, and if I like, even if he stays in, goes for the HP fire, I still live, get some chip off on, and like whittle him with the toxic damage. So it's not a big deal if I go for the Zen headbutt here. And like if he makes a play into his Infernape, I get rid of the Ape and pretty much guaranteed win with Mew because Ladius is not offensive, gauging from the HP fire damage. Vaporeon can't beat Mew. Roserade is defensive and can't beat Mew because it's not Life Orb. And this is a defensive Cobalion which can't beat Mew either. So if I get the play right and he goes into his Infernape and I click Zen headbutt and connect, this game's over. Like I'm like, yeah, is it worth it making the play? Like I'm pretty sure he's gonna make a play into his Ape because like he can't really afford to lose his Ladias just to get rid of the Metagross. Doesn't really give him much because then my Diancie comes in and just claims one or two depending on what he does, and like he has to like being so much in the back, he has to make a play at some point. I think like now that my Protect or Ice Punch is so obvious, he's gonna go into Ape, and I click the Zen headbutt as he actually switches out into his Infernape, and I bopped this thing out of the game with the Zen. After the game, he told me he was Scarf Infernape, but which means that like it wasn't a threat to me, but I'm still getting rid of it. Open up my Mew so nicely that I like really was really hyped about this play. So we get rid of the Ape, and now like my entire team is looking good. In my opinion, this game is over now. And he's like, fuck in the chat. And like, yeah, that's what happens. He goes into Roserade as I protect. I think he gets up another no, he goes for the hidden power here. I don't really care. I think I go for the Zen on this next turn. No, I switch out into Mew, yeah, because I want Mew in before I get the second T-Spike up. If he toxics my Mew badly, that's bad because then I can't 1v1 his Vaporeon, Ladias, or Cobalion. But with just the poison damage, I'm easily like I can easily bop everything with Mew. So I guess for the Giga Drain, that's a solid amount, but this is definitely not offensive. Not offensive Roserade. I can soft build up once, and then like click Psychic here because I know he can't knock me out with the Giga Drain. He gets up a second Toxic Spike, and now I'm very free, I think, to Psychic again because I can softball up on everything. I Psychic the Vaporeon, the incoming Vape, and this thing is getting shipped, and now like yeah, that's nice. I can just taunt this bitch so that my Diancie can beat it 1v1 later in the game. Now I can like, let's see, wishes up, I can just softball up, it goes into Ladi. And I think here I switch out into my Metagross because if he goes for the Draco Meteor and crits, my Mew's gone, so just like go into this thing and pretty much like claim one or get a toxic off on Vaporeon, so that is nice. Draco bounces, and I can like just double back into Mew in case he wants to switch out into Vaporeon. I see hidden powers for 6%. Nice chip, nice chip. And I can just roost up. Probably his best play here is to fish for the Draco crit, but he doesn't do it. He goes into Cobalion, and I'm like, yeah, I can psychic this thing. I don't think it packs toxic because it has revealed Volt Switch and Stealth Rocket, as well as I think HP Fire, or will reveal HP Fire later for the Katana, and I'm like, yeah, he has to have some stab. Goes for the Flash Can, tries to drop me. Doesn't work out. I can softball up here as he switches out into Ladias, trying to catch me on the Psychic, but I'm like, yeah, I'm beating everything 1v1 here with my Mew, so he's kind of forced to like make some plays, trying to get me to choke. Go hard into my Diancie here as he roosts up. Good play on his part. I predicted Draco here, but now I know I live any hit this Ladias has because it's not invested. I guarantee live a Surf if he has it, and I can knock it out the Ladias, which means my Mew outspeeds the rest of his squad and beats everything 1v1. So I do just that. I sack my Diancie to the Surf plus Toxic, knock it out with the Moonblast, and then go into Mew to win the game pretty much because can't really do much to me. I taunt this Vaporeon, as he scars, softball up again. Like this is like kind of long. Now I Toxic it to negate the lefties. It's a crit Scald there, but I can just softball up all the time on it. I taunt it again as he tries to wish, catching him once again, and like now this Vaporeon goes lower and lower. Can't do much to me with the Scald. That's 24 obviously, because I'm a max HP Mew, and Mew is broken. Not gonna lie. I taunt again here. He goes for the Scald and can softball as he goes down to the Toxin. Now I just clicked Psychic twice to win the game, and Mew is able to clean up this match. So GG to my opponent. Definitely a fun one, with a nice prediction with the Metagross on the Infernape, which pretty much guaranteed me the win 18 turns in, which is nice. We start the season with a 4-0 win, which is always appreciated because obviously we want to make playoffs and we want to win our division for a potential first round bye. So every big win is a good win. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sadly, Talent couldn't do too much, but I think we played very well around all of my opponent's threats. We made a nice big play that pretty much was like low risk, high reward, and pretty much won us the game. So definitely enjoying the squad so far. I already built for week 2 and 3. Should play my week 2 within the next couple of days and upload it like on Sunday or something. And yeah, that's it for this week. My NPL draft recap should go up tomorrow, which is nice. Hope you guys will enjoy that. And thank you guys for watching. Leave a like in the comment if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next week. See ya.